Designing a portfolio is tough. You know, you want to stand out. You don't want to be like every other template website. So what if we took some inspiration from the 15th century? I've been playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and it's been a lot of fun. Lots of blacksmithing, doing some alchemy, and lots of sword fights, which is fun. But it got me thinking, like, let's create a brand inspired by the 15th century in the Bohemian period, and let's create a whole portfolio website based on that. So for the design process, I'm going to be using 5 different apps for this. I'm going to break down the process one by one. I'm going to be using Cosmos, Envato Elements, Adobe Illustrator, Endless Tools, and then finally Framer to build out the website. So I'm going to go onto cosmos.so. It's like a better version of Pinterest, and we can just go to the search bar and search up anything we want. So I'm going to search up something to do with 15th century Bohemia. So I'm going to go 15th century Bohemian art and design. Let's go for that. And this is how I just basically research to start getting some really, really cool ideas. Now with this period, there's a lot of Gothic art inspired. There's a lot of ornate things. There's a lot of like gold, yellowy colors. It's all about royalty, and you've got a lot of really interesting images. Even like the fonts, you get some black letter and calligraphic styles back then. Like even some of these like really cool like patterns or like stitchings. I think that that's really cool. Even this color palette is nice. So what we can do, I'm just going to copy that picture and I'm just going to drop that into Illustrator. I'm going to search up Bohemian Middle Age icons. Now I found this image of a sun that I think it would be really cool. Our studio name is going to be the Gilded Sun Studio. It has a nice ring to it, and I think it's uncommon. Sounds cool. But I love the idea of this sun. They used to draw it with a face back then. I think something like this could be a really cool idea. Maybe not as illustrative. Maybe we'll just do a simple icon. And I found this one as well. Now, typically I would go and do a sketch, but I'm just going to get some images and paste it in Illustrator, and then we can jump into that after we find a font first. So I'm going to go through here, get some inspiration, download some images, and we can use that to create our brand and website. Now, the next app, we're going to be using Envato Elements. I have a subscription. I'll actually put all the affiliate links to all the apps below in the description below. I do get a bit of a commission on some of the links, but yeah, it helps out the channel. Remember to like and subscribe as well. So what I want to do is go into fonts and type Gothic because it's from that Gothic period. And we've got a lot of different fonts. You've got like a lot of like black letter fonts. You've got some really like elegant ones that are more condensed. You've got ones that are, yeah, just they look very like vintage, old school and creative. And overall, I'm going to find something that's simple, not too Gothic, because we don't want to go too hardcore. We want to sort of bring it back. Like even this one, that's nice. You got the Kaiser one. I'm going to click download. And the reason why I love Envato is you can download all the fonts. You can download unlimited photos. Basically, everything is royalty free, which I really like. Metal Gothic, that looks cool. We'll do this one. Grimoire. And I think I'm going to go back to page 1. I really liked this one here, Shiloh. Cool. Beautiful. So once we're done with the Envato Elements, we've got our font. Now I'm going to go into Adobe Illustrator and start creating our logo. I've got my fonts ready, got some images of inspiration that we can just draw from. And yeah, I'm ready to get into it. Now, usually you can do a sketch of the logo, but for me, I'm just going to do it in Illustrator just to make it a bit more faster, and I'm really good with it. So yeah. So we've got the free fonts here. I'm just going to type them out. So we're going to go, the name is the Gilded Sun Studio. I'm just going to duplicate this and I'm going to do the fonts. So we've got Kaiser, we got Metal Gothic, and we got the Shiloh one. So we've got 3 different fonts here, and I'm going to see they've got uppercase, and I'm just going to get a feeling, see, you know, what's working here, and maybe I can customize it to make it feel more unique. So this is very unreadable, this one, so I'm going to get rid of that. And this one kind of looks good in all caps. This one, not as good. It's a bit unreadable. But I really like also the lowercase. You get these nice little calligraphy centers and stems and things like that. It just looks really cool. This one, the S and the G looks mad. I really like that. But I feel like maybe we should do this one. Kaiser looks good. So I'm going to duplicate this, play around with it, and I'm just going to start playing around with the kerning. Maybe we can tighten it up. I like looking for spaces and opportunities to like put the text in a different layout or a different lockup. or even we do uppercase. I like to go type and change case is the quickest way to do it. Cool. And another thing you can also do as well is sometimes I like to make the first letters a bit bigger. So I like to quickly make that small. So you got these letters a bit bigger. So I'm really just playing around. I'm just exploring whatever it takes just to get some quick ideas out there. So I think I'm going to stick with this type right here, and I'm going to start working on that sun icon. So I really like these two. They're really cool. So I'm going to start building the icon out. I'm going to start off with a circle just like this. And what I like to do is make a shape. So I'm going to use the pen tool, and I really like this shape here. So I'm going to use the pen tool, and I'm going to create this curvy spike shape like this. I'm going to duplicate it, and I might just make a couple different sizes, and I think that should be okay. Now what we can do is I'm going to bring this, and I'm going to make sure that it's aligned to the center. I'm going to bring it down, and then I'm going to find the center. As you can see, press the R tool and then hold Alt and left click, and then I can rotate it 360 around. So what we can do is maybe go 10 degrees and copy, and then I just press Control D and I can duplicate it like this. So that's one way to do it. You can also play around with the repeat tool as well. So for example, if I take this, I can select object repeat radial. So it will do it in a circular fashion, and I can increase the instances like this. And then I can just put the circle right in the middle, and you can have something like this. So that's one way of doing it. And then I'm going to do a different way where I'm just going to have one side pointing that way and then the other side pointing the other way. So go -10 and then makes it feel a little bit different. It would be good if I can put the sort of shorter sizes. So I'm probably not doing the most efficient way, but here's one way of like just bringing those down. I don't know, that's one way of making it a little bit wonky, but anyway, I'm just going to use this, and now I want to make sort of the nose and the mouth there. Cool. So we've got this. Now I'm going to make sure to unite them, so you can use the Pathfinder tool. I just press F5 because I've got shortcuts all set up. So the Pathfinder, you want to click Unite, and that will click it all together. And I'm just going to borrow this color, or this gold color over here. And then we can do a white version. And cool. I reckon that's fun. We've got a logo there. Now, just before we go to our next app, Endless, I'm going to make an SVG icon because I'm going to make a 3D icon out of it. So I really like this symbol here. You got some other patterns as well, like you got some moons and you get sun and stuff. But I think we could use this. Even we could use the sun as well. Cool. So what I want to do, I'm just going to quickly get this. I want to make it from scratch because that would just take so much time. I'm going to image trace this and expand it. All right, so now we've got this icon, and what I'm going to do is press Control Shift Alt E. Before saving the icon, just make sure that it's 30 pixels, or else it'll be too big on the canvas when we bring it into our next tool. I'm going to export that, and that brings us to our next tool for 3D generation is Endless. Now in Endless tools, you've got the type tool, cover tool, object tool, and shape tool. I'm going to be using the shape tool for this. They actually have a lot of collections. So on the bottom right, I can click on this little icon, and they've got handmade, blade, future, simple. You've got all these really like cool icons. But I'm going to upload that icon into here. Once you've uploaded, you can see we've got our 3D shape. I can hold Control and zoom out. I can move this. Now we've got this really nice shape that we can use. Now, if I go to the left, you can see we've got some materials. We've got stone, wood, fabric, metal, soapy, glass, basic, dynamic, and metal. So if I go down to metal, we've got all these different ones. So I can click on it, and you're going to get something like this. We've got gold, you got what is this? Copper or brass penny. That's nice too. So I'm going to go to the gold, and what we can actually do now is we can play with the depth. So if you bring the depth out, it can make it really big, or we can have a small depth and it will make it really less 3D there. And we can also play around with segments, which is cool too. Now another thing you can do is play with the lighting. So on the right side, we can select environment, and so we can select different environments. You got basic, you got cyberpunk, you got nature as well. So in nature, maybe you want sort of this. It's going to change the reflection and the lighting because it's going to be in a different environment. So you can see the side of the gold now looks way different. I think this one was pretty cool as well. And I'm going to click on the light space as well, and we can bring the power up, the intensity. We bring that up. We can change the direction of the light as well. So if it's at the bottom or directly above or on the side. You can also play around with the pattern, how it repeats. If you want it really big, have it smaller, you can rotate it. You can put the power up of the environment on the left-hand side. You can also mirror it, and you can see the little circles like change if I zoom in. You also got roughness as well. So look how shiny it gets. That's pretty cool. But if you want more roughness, it's going to make it more like matte. But I kind of like that. I like the shine to it. And cool. I like it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the top right, click on export, and we want to export it as an embed. So this is what it's going to look like. It's going to have a move animation. We can have a drag animation as well if you click, or you can just do auto rotates. I'm going to have a move animation. So when you move your mouse, it rotates. So what we're going to do, I'm going to copy the link, and now I want to jump into Framer. So first up, what I want to do, I'm going to change the fill on the right hand side. I'm going to change my fill, and then I'm going to press Control K, search for embed, and we want to insert that in. Go to the right hand side and paste that URL and press enter. And now you can see we've got our 3D object. I'm just going to scale this up like this, and I'm going to press play so you can preview it. Now when I move my mouse on the canvas, it moves that icon, which I think is super dope. I'm just going to create a stack, and I'm going to make this stack just focus on the right hand side like this. We've got to make this smaller like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a tool called Framify. Now, this is a fast way to build Framer sites. There's other tools out there that help you speed up the process, but this is one of the really great ones. They have heaps of different sections. So they've got components. They've actually got fully fledged websites. As you can see, you can copy any of these and put them in. But I'm going to build it from scratch. So what I'm going to do is go to the sections. And I really liked this one here, the Lab 36. I can literally just copy that section. I'm going to go to Framer, and I'm going to just press Control V to paste, and it's literally going to paste that in. I'm just going to make sure that it's in the right layout. The desktop, the width, I'm going to change it to 1440, and we got this hero section. I'm just going to make sure that it matches. Beautiful. I want to bring the 3D up as well. So at the moment, we've got, boom, this section, and I've got the 3D icon, which I think is awesome. So this is what the component looks like. I can go ahead and change the imagery. So I'm going to go down to my layers in the image section, and I'm going to upload my own image. So I'm going to go down, choose image, and I've just downloaded one that I created. Cool. So we got that, which is looking really great. We can bring the opacity down as well. So I can always go ahead and change that image if I'm not vibing with it. I found some other ones. Got some cool patterns. That's a bit too abstract. I've got this cool pattern as well. And what we can actually do, I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm just going to put black on top and make it like dark like that. And I'm going to go back to my frame. I want to preview it. Cool. So far we got this, and I think this is really cool. Now let's go add our logo. So I'm going to add a nav bar. I'm going to go down to navigation, and I'm going to just drag and drop a nav bar into here. And I'm going to make sure that it's at the top, and I'm just going to double click on it to open up the component. Now I'm going to go back to Illustrator and make sure I've exported this logo like this. So we've got the sun icon and the type logo. I'm going to export those as SVGs as well. I'm going to drag and drop them in so we can see we've got our design, and I want to bring it inside this stack there. And so we've got our logo, make it a bit smaller, and I want to add some more padding to the left. So we'll go 25 pixels, and it should look like something like this. And we'll just say portfolio and contact. And I'm gonna go to my layers and just delete those extra ones here. And for this stack as well, we can increase the padding about around 50 pixels to look like something like that. And I can leave that. And so at the moment, we've got main nav. Just going to make this Z index to 0, so it bring that image to the back. And bring the opacity down for this image. And then we've got something like this. I'm going to preview. And boom, we've got our cool portfolio. We've got these buttons here. I'm going to change the text. And for the buttons, we can use some of the colors from here. So I'll get the color swatch. So we've got our main design. I just want to update the font to the font that we have chosen because we want to make sure that it matches the brand and the feeling. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to get rid of the style. So you can, there's usually typically like a X here. Click that. We want to go to font, go down to custom, and you can see you can upload fonts. So also you can do the regular. I've also got the italic version, but I've gone ahead and already updated with the Kaiser regular, and we've got it right here. I might just change the size to maybe 100 pixels and decrease the line height by 0.1. And now we've got something like this. We press the play button and we've got our cool shiny pattern we've got moving here, and we can scroll down and create our portfolio pieces. So I'm just going to do a quick landing page. Once again, just using Framify. It's a really great tool. Remember, I do have a link in the description below. You can add some other sections. So you got different categories here. So you got testimonials, you got service, client logo. So maybe I'll put the client logos here. I'm going to copy this, paste it in just like that. And just double click on the component. We can unlink and then just go in there and change all the details. So if you want to change the background, change the colors of the fonts, we can do all that. So we can have something like this. I'm going to select this gold color and maybe we change this to, so we've got something like this. And this one we can make it cool. I'm going to drop in a service as well. Copy this, go to Framer. I'll paste that in. Once again, we can edit a component. I'm going to unlink this component. I'm going to make it this gray color. I'm going to select this component and I'm going to find a variant. And you can see you got variants here, light outline, dark, and also neutral. Yeah, I think that will work. And maybe for these as well, we can go variant 1, we can go variant 2, something like this. And let's just keep it simple and go to footer and find a nice footer. I like having big type for a footer. So we can put this down here, change the size to 1440, and then we can put our logo in here. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and update this design and then you can see the final result. So here's the final result for the Gilded Sun Studio portfolio agency website in Framer from beginning to end, the full process. And I hope you enjoyed it. I actually do have a course on Skillshare. I'll put a link in the description below. My Framer course comes out this week, and I have branding and portfolio courses as well on Skillshare. With just one subscription, you can watch all my 30 classes on there. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see another video on how I created a real estate brand, watch this one right here to see my process for that.